Oh my gosh, there's a tornado. I was like, what is that sound? We're having a tornado. Please stop. Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our city of Second City, and this right here is the beautiful city of Amberwood, or I guess neighborhood of Amberwood. This is right across the river from our main downtown. In the last part, we began building out this area. We got to use these new key walls, which I think look really nice, and these key walls are what inspired the name of this area. But I really like Amberwood. I think it's come together really nicely, and today we're going to spend more time building this area out. I have a few things I want to accomplish today. We want to continue building out row homes and housing here in Amberwood, solve some of our postal issues that we have throughout our city, do some decorations along the riverfront, and I want to add in a highway connection and just start helping this area get more interconnected. Let's go ahead and get started by building out some more row homes. This is kind of one of our easier to-dos here, but I want to begin just to get some additional zoning going on here. And I know that I want this area to essentially all be row houses. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder if we just go 5 back. We leave a little bit of breathing room there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this is only a 5 deep, I think, that far along, if I'm not mistaken, because then it looks like that's about where things begin to separate. I would say let's get rid of this line here and let's just let that all zone in however it pleases. Along Linden Street, I wouldn't mind just a little bit of zoning. Why don't we do, or some commercial, excuse me. Why don't we do really like that whole section there is just those 2 buildings. And let's go ahead and do this whole section here as well. I accidentally messed that guy up. Autosave. So we get a little bit of commercial here on Linden, right near our cemetery, which is great. That area is going to be moving. Let's go ahead and speed up time just a little bit to let more people get in here. And then I'm thinking we might want to do some more businesses kind of along this area. Now, I know we don't have any demand for this, but I think I want to do the southwest low density buildings. And we're just going to fill in, I think, both of these squares for now. And I think we're also going to fill in kind of this area here. Now, how we're going to do this, I'm going to do like a lick of commercial there, with a commercial strip right here on the corner, maybe like this. And then we'll do another commercial building kind of all the way along here. But then for the rest of this, I would like to try to add in some offices. Now, hold on. I gave you more than enough room to fill in that area. Let's fill in the whole thing. This can all be an office here as well. I think we might leave this open and slide in a small parking lot right here. We're jumping right in today. You know, I just finished doing the previous episode, and I was going to wait to upload it and get your guys' feedback, but I was feeling pretty inspired. So I thought, why don't I just keep building? If I need to go back and change things, I can do that. Not a big deal. But for now, let's let the game just guide me, you know? All right, let's connect these surfaces to one another. Let's also extend them so that they go over into the road there. Beautiful. Houses are moving in very nicely. We're getting some business here. Right behind here, we know we're going to have some more row homes. Row homes on row homes on row homes. Bam. Let's go ahead and get a small pathway in here too. I think this area would be remiss not to have a pathway. Gorgeous. I'm going to just slap down a quick little lick of trees here. So there's a little barrier for that parking. Now, I am seeing that we have a lot of people parking in those parking lots and along the roads. I am going to be making some adjustments here. I mentioned this in the last part, but someone had commented that I need more grass and trees along the roads, and I couldn't agree more. It's going to force people to have to find other places to park their cars, but I think I'm okay with that, especially around our little roundabout. This area, we don't have any room for you to park along this road here, Let's go ahead and just grab, we'll do whatever the base tree is that is spawning in here. Send that all the way up both sides, and we'll send it around the outer edge in front of these buildings here. Beautiful. Is that even a tree? Or is it like, is it a tree? It is a tree. It's a very small tree, but that will grow in with time. We have two of the same building here, which I don't love, but we do have a small space where I think we might be able to fit a tiny little pocket park. If I turn off snap to road, don't delete anything. There we go. Very nice. Oh, yeah. All right. And then right back here, we definitely want some trees just to kind of disguise this transition. Right along here, I don't want to have too many areas be designated for parks. So I am going to come in and I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back. We will do some buildings here, and I'm going to add in a few other types as well. Let's also grab the New England style, go 5 back. I don't even know if these go 5 back, but we're going to try. Looks like one did go 5. No, they all go about 4 back. Okay. We'll leave that alone there. Right here, I think I'm going to leave this be. That can just be some trees. And we might even expand this coverage a little bit. Pretty good. Okay, so now we've got that to go even further. How many people now live in here? 5,000 people. All right, real quick, how is our school holding up with that amount of people? Not bad. That's doing fine. And you're definitely doing fine. Okay. Now let's go ahead, and while that's just sitting here, I'm going to take a quick break from doing any zoning here. Let's look at the post office, because I think in the last part, I don't know if this made it into the episode or not, but I noticed that the mail rate, 212,000 pieces of mail, and we can only really process 182 of them. Now this area looks okay. There are some buildings here that could use some support, and I'm thinking that support could come in the means of additional vehicles. Let's see if I have this right. No, only one van is collecting, so that might be a mistake on the game's end. But why don't we do this just to kind of help out where we can? Why don't we place a post box right here along this side street? It's going to delete some things there, which I don't want to do. We'll place it right there. That'll allow people to drop everything off there. These guys presumably could just walk over to that building, but instead they're not. So why don't we place... I don't know why those buildings or those trees would be impacted, but we'll place another post box there. This area could probably use another post box. Let's place one right here. I'm seeing him come down that road. I wouldn't mind one there. Over here we're doing okay. The fish, ironically, right in front of all of this is a post box. It's not getting enough service, but that's okay. In here, I think what we'll do is we'll place one here, and we'll place one here. Pinewood Acres does not have any post offices, so we'll place 2 in Pinewood Acres. Over here we have 2 post offices there. I think maybe one more in that general area would be good. I think one more in this general area would be good. We have one over here. Let's place one on the farther edge as well. Willow Terrace. We've got a post office, but no post boxes. One can go here. Maybe one goes over here. This whole area, dreadful collection. So we're going to need more post offices there. And then this area, absolutely no help. This is not good. This whole area needs a post box. Maybe we put 2 in here. You have one post office, but I think having a post box kind of right here off the main street, and then having one right over here by this little business sector, maybe right in front of the park. So that way that's covered as well. And then down here, we'll have one post box right. All right, now we've got a decent amount of coverage there for post boxes. What I want to then do is click on our post offices. So this post office has 2 vehicles out, but it can't really be upgraded or do anything else. So that's not ideal. I do think we had another post office over here that we ended up getting rid of. So what if is this a Japanese post office? EE post office. What if I try to fit an additional post office in here somewhere else? place one here. And then maybe Denny Ridge doesn't really have the support it needs either. And we have this highway here. What if we were to place another post office over here? The EE post office just can't fit, and we don't want it to be too close to that one. The Japanese post office could fit. So maybe we place a Japanese post office right there along that edge, next to the health center. Wow, both of those are Japanese buildings. Who knew? So that should help out a lot with some of this connectivity, because all of them should at least send out one vehicle, I would think. I'd be shocked if they didn't. So why don't we do this? You're going to be focused here on Denny Ridge. You're going to be focused here on Denny Ridge and Alexandria. You can both share that demand. Do we have a post office here anywhere? We have this one. Oh, this one really could be just focused on Alexandria. Maybe this guy here is the Denny Ridge post office, and this larger one is not actually Denny Ridge. This one comes over here and takes care of Sheffield, Warehouse Bend, and the Key. Then if we look here, there's no post office here. There is one right here. This one already has 10 of 10 vehicles out. It could take care of Briar Downs. It could take care of the college. It could take care of Elizabeth Crossing, Middle Peak, and Dickinson Narrows. We still need one for Longview, Horsham Flats, Bedford, Valentine Park, Mellonville, and Wilmar. I almost wonder if we need to take out some of those houses there and instead have a new post office here. You're going to focus on these areas. Make sure all of those guys are serviced. Up in this space, we need an additional post office. No, we have one right here. You have 1 of 4 vehicles out. You are a little bit kind of on the edge there, and I need to update Easton, so I'll fix that in a moment. But you can work in Ivy Gardens, Willow Terrace, and Boulder Hill. We'll come back later and see how you're doing. You may need some additional support. This area all over here needs a post office, and I think what we could do is maybe place this post office kind of in the same complex, or we place it right here. Now that we have this new area, that could work really well. You'll do Doors Park, Ortega, and Hodges Sports Complex. And then in this industrial area, we already have our Northfield Post sorting facility. But I would say, why don't we go ahead and place another post office? And I'm fine with these being these large ones. I think these fit really nicely, just like so. And you're going to operate here in both Northfield, Aspen Gas, Parker Incineration, Brightwater Locomotive. They're all connected. Is anybody working in Creighton? All right, you're also going to work in Creighton. I wouldn't mind doing a larger post office down here in Easton. I feel like that could look really nice. Just give us a little bit of height kind of randomly in here. We might do a bit more development around the train station, but this will be an Easton train station, or Easton post office, and you could do Elizabeth Crossing. I don't think anyone lives in the nature preserve, but I'll put them there as well. And then last but not least, we do have Mullins Post Office. This is working overtime. All right, you don't need to be in Easton Elizabeth Crossing. You can share some of these connections here with Trafford College. Over here, we have a post office right here, which is kind of operating in this southern section. I am going to remove, I think, Cypress and the Narrow from this docket here and instead give it Villa Antiqua and Old City, although no one lives there now, so I don't necessarily want to waste the energy having people drive over there. You are using 20 of 20 vehicles, which is great. I think we need one more post office to kind of service maybe this end here. So where could we sneak a post office in? There is an opportunity maybe right here on North 2nd Street. If we were to remove the key wall that's right there and then look at some options. We have a Japanese post office which would fit perfectly. The rest of these I think are too small. Let's do the Japanese post office, which does not have any upgrades, but let's have this function here in Sheffield, Warehouse Bend, Cypress, The Narrow, and the key. It's going to just take care of this entire edge, which means this Denny Ridge post office does not need to function here. It can focus on Denny Ridge and on Alexandria, which means this guy, which is also focusing on the same. That means I now have 3 post offices, all focusing on exactly the same area. I think that little tiny post office can handle Alexandria on its own. But this post office isn't actually sending vehicles out, whereas this post office is. So let's have this post office support that small one over in Alexandria. Okay. You've sent out 6 vehicles. You're operating in these areas. That's great. Now if I click on this, I do think I wouldn't mind maybe having a small post office here in Creighton. I could see the value of that. It slides into this little section perfectly, and that would mean then we could take this guy off of Creighton. You apparently have no road access to the back and no power, even though... What? You're attached to the road? Chill out, bro. You're totally fine. Let's path right behind it. I want to get this perfectly straight, just like so. That'll redo that zoning there. And then what we can do is, honestly, I think take this pathway and just make this whole section just concrete. This little section, though, we can put some larger apple trees kind of along this hill. There we go. And where are you functioning again? You're doing Northfield, Brightwater, Parker, Aspen, Gas. You're managing a lot. Good luck. All right. I think that should help solve some of this problem. We now definitely have more collection happening. I think we could place a small post office over here in our oil field, which I'm still obsessed with. I think we're going to place it right here. Perfect spot for it. And we could have a common collection point kind of down here, as well as a common collection point maybe over here. I don't necessarily think any of those need a collection point, but we'll place one in the middle just to be safe. And you are going to function in this district. Reliable mail service is now a +6 instead of a -6, which is great. Still having a death wave. I don't think there's anything we can do to solve that. Let's quickly, though, now that we know this is in the wrong spot, let's just fix this Easton district. Okay. I think we've solved the post. Now let's do a bit more zoning. Everything has zoned in. Our demand has come back. We do have this weird section here where nobody wants to live, which is fine. What I think we do is this. I think we come on in. We drag a big section of, although they're zoning along 2 separate roads, which I don't like. So what I'd rather we do, let's just force them to zone along the other way. Get rid of all of this. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everyone. We were a little preemptive there. I wasn't really doing this the way I should. There we go. Now you're all set. Get in there. Let's go in and put some different style houses in. They don't all need to be identical. Beautiful. All right. How is our elementary school holding up? It's doing okay. With this new influx, I am considering we might need to add this expansion sooner rather than later. And then our high school is doing totally fine. Now, along this main road here, I'm liking how this is starting to look more suburban. There's a road near where I live that goes, from Philly all the way out to the suburbs called Baltimore Pike. And it has got, I don't know, some parts it's got 3 lanes on both sides, some parts it's got 2, but it is a bunch, it is miles and miles and miles of chain restaurants, and all the different, locations have their own parking. It is a driver's dream. And that's kind of what I'm imagining Fox Hollow Street is going to end up becoming. Let's initially plan to have a parking lot in here. Let's build our own parking lot first. And by build our own, let's plop one down. I think that this square one could fit, almost perfect. I would love it to fill the whole space. Can we... We could do 2 of these side by side, right? Just like that. We then can also... Then, instead of using the same surface, what if we gave this, like, just a little bit nicer of a surface? Make this feel like it's got a little border. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this one row is not going to work because of that surface. So instead, let's add a pathway. And then along here, we can do some zoning. So southwest, I'm going to do... I want to make sure they don't zone along this road. So let's first limit the zoning over here onto Fox Hollow. Then let's go ahead and just slap down a bunch of commercial. In between some of that commercial, we're going to slap down some office. Does give us a lot of opening behind here, but now what I think we can do, we can re-add what was there. For some of these where it feels like maybe they didn't zone far enough back. Can you go a little bit deeper there? No, you can't. Are you sure? Southwest. Oh, that one went a little bit further along. I like that. And maybe this one here just goes like so. There we go. Then I think we could consider doing more parking along here. But what we could do is this. So let's grab our alleyway. Bam. Do a little alleyway piece there. Do a little alleyway piece there. Then parking roads. Alleyway parking road. I guess we could just go boop, boop, and try to upgrade this centerpiece. No, it doesn't work that nicely. We could just say, screw this little thing we just built. I know we just made this. But if you were to get rid of that, and then we were to get rid of the surface we have over here. Oh, I didn't actually get rid of the surface. Whoopsie. Delete the surface. Then we could just upgrade this whole thing into a one-way. With this parking. Now, why is there an issue here? Invalid shape. If I were to just anarchy that in there, is it having an issue right here? It might be having an issue there. Let's hold on. We're sure this doesn't work. You guys are positive. What if I just drag it straight? Go to right there. Then this road gets upgraded. Bam. So now there's some additional parking along here, which is great, which we need. It did change this around, so now they did have some zoning along the back. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. This does feel, I think, a bit more repetitive than the other area did. And I don't know what is causing that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to remove those. We're going to remove those. We're going to remove this. And we're going to pause. Delete this, delete this, delete this. Let's see if we can get some larger buildings. There we go. Yep, that's going to be much better. I already can tell that's going to work. There we go. Fox Hollow. Or not Fox Hollow. Amberwood. Actually, that is Fox Hollow. Look at that. Okay, so that's starting to do its expansion. We have not addressed these 2 blocks yet. And I like how this has come in with some of these different style homes. I think it just gives us a little bit more interest, which we do want. Now, we are having some overflow coming down Briar Rose Street. The last time that I made an upgrade to this road, the game crashed. So let's just try to do this slowly, with intention, methodically. And if we do the oaks like this, where they're kind of on they're on one side, but that switches back and forth. I think that looks really nice. We have people parking all the way down this way, which tells me that we don't have enough parking just generally in this area. So I'm thinking what we're going to want to do is we are going to want to have some parking right here. Let's flatten out this land. Right here. And what I want to see, I think, is just a large parking lot. Is this the large? Moderate parking lot. 1, 2. Do we do this? Do we instead... What's the next size up from moderate large? I think I might like the large more. Can we still fit 2? We can. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to place them, but I want to flip them around. I don't want them facing that way. Let's go over here to the narrow quay wall with pedestrian path. Can I do zoning on this? It's kind of my question. I don't know if I can. I know we can do this road, the medium quay wall road. We would have to scoot this guy over a bit, which is not bad. So let's do this. Let's do a regular road, just like so. I basically don't want this to change height at all. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's a tornado. I was like, what is that sound? Oh my god. We're having a tornado. Please stop. I have no emergency infrastructure in place. We've been playing this for ages. And you just now send in a tornado? Oh my gosh, it's so crazy loud. I don't even know what to say. A tornado is coursing through, and it's causing some serious problems. We can't pause it. We just have to react. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is a water treatment plant. Can I rebuild this? This structure has been destroyed. Water treatment plant. Delete. Water. We need a water treatment plant. Bam. Right here. It had an expansion. I believe it had these tanks right behind it. Anarchy these tanks in here. Great. Get out of town. Get out of town. Relocate. Relocate costs gathering hearse. Oh, we did lose some people. Disaster response unit unavailable. I mean, I guess to do this correctly, I need a disaster response unit. So let's go ahead and build that. Disaster response units unavailable. Build this disaster response unit to an upgraded fire station to rescue them. We're coming, people. We're coming. This guy can't get a disaster response unit, which sucks. Useless. Where's the regular one? Regular fire station. If I were to place this, I don't know. Turn anarchy off, first of all. That's not necessary. In the sake of, like, we just need to do it, it needs to go somewhere useful. I feel like right here could be valuable. Let's place this right here in Old City for now. And then I can upgrade this with a disaster response unit. Oh my gosh. See, I haven't even built any of this. Go save the people. Okay. With that, I think we need a different fire station. Which one do I have over here? It's trash. City Firehouse. Get out of here. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Give me a nice office. That's fine. We're gonna move this over into here because after that just happened, we need it. Let's actually delete this. Sorry. We're going to move this guy right over to here. And if I turn off snap to road, it might be able to fit in here. Bam. Then we need a few things. Garage extension, I'm not that pressed. Training facilities helps firefighters stay in top shape and thus extinguish fires more efficiently. Wow. It's expensive though. I don't think we need it just yet. Cool idea though. Specialized rescue services. This we absolutely need. I also want to treat this as kind of like a second building. Like what if this was right? That was going to be a park originally. Do we want to have this here? Or do we want to place this somewhere else? Because we could place it kind of, like over this way. Have it back like that. Or we could anarchy this in kind of anywhere we want. And it could be along this road, or it could even be up this way. I like it up here. The disaster response unit is near the hospital. Then there is a helipad, which we know how I feel about helipads. But I will place one. I will place one. There could be value there. But let's go get this taken care of, because I can't rebuild this. Waiting for disaster response units. Okay. Okay. Who's headed over there? Somebody's on their way. You can make it, buddy. Get over there. Save these people. I mean, they're dead, but approve the building for redevelopment. Oh, there's a dog. Hi, Lorelei. Do you want to go outside? Why don't I go put you outside while I finish what I'm doing? Let me go take my dog outside, and then I'll be back to keep going here. Okay, the dog is on the deck. They're relaxing. They're having a nice time. I'm over here stressing the hell out. We're doing great work. We're doing great work. Okay, so we dealt with that tornado. Who knew that was happening today? Now what we got to do is figure out what we're doing next, because I'm just totally thrown off. I was working on parking lots. So my thinking here, Moonflower Street, my thinking here was that I was going to take this road, and then what I wanted to do was I wanted to raise this up so that it was level as it could be. But what I want to do is use these as almost, use these as key walls. I like that idea a lot. Do we connect into this bridge? That feels like a bad idea. It feels like a bad idea. Does it change the bridge too much? Yeah, that's already the smallest of the 3 arches, so I don't necessarily want it to connect up to existing geometry. But I essentially want this to be flat. I don't want it to change in height really all that much at all if I can help it. But let's have this here. Then what we're going to do is this. We're going to rotate this. This is going to be a little bit challenging, but we can do it. If we get this perfectly in here, just like this, then we can build a second one of these. And then what we do is on this back half of Fox Hollow, we go into Anarchy. Bam. Bam. Then, oh, it deleted 2 of the buildings. I liked that building a lot. What the heck? Why would you do that? Okay. Okay. Delete this. Remove this. What I want is a key along here, but I want the other key. That's a different key. Did they remove the key that just has the railing on it? They may have. They may have. What if I do it this way and we upgrade this like this? That's what I want. Is that not considered a key? It is considered a key. So that's a different key than the other key, which who knew? All right, so these buildings all disappeared. That's okay. I do want to make sure the zoning, though, is in the right place. Like, there's nothing for you to build there. So let's go ahead and just fix this. This is what kind? USA NE mixed housing. USA NE mixed housing. Man, this was a wild ride. Let's go back here. Let's grab this. Let's stick it to this road. It doesn't stick perfectly, but if I disconnect it, I can place that right there. Now we have this kind of like key wall that juts out with a ton of parking for this downtown area. Is it sightly? No. No, not at all. But it's almost not supposed to be, right? It's almost supposed to look ugly. Let's go ahead and slap down some bushes. Do want to limit parking on the central section here, Pearl Street, which is now being called. I don't want trees on it, though. I think having all of this being concrete is kind of nice. And then I think on this outer section, we could do just a few palm trees. Push those cars further in there. But that works really nicely for me. Now this little section here, I think again, we just need to do a bit more tree work just to kind of disguise the cliff face. I think it's time that we figure out how this is going to look. Now, I already kind of gave away the lead here in the last part. I was thinking that this is just mainly going to be trees for now. I think that's going to look nice. Let's reduce the brush size down to 80. I'm fine with the intensity being 50, but I want this to be very tree heavy. I want this to feel like it is separate from the water. And I want to just really send the trees kind of all the way around this way. It just adds some extra development there, which I like. I think with that, though, and all those trees being there, I mean, it's nice and dense. It's what we were looking for. I do think this little curved area needs to be developed. I think we're missing out on really just a lot of usable land, which doesn't really make sense to me why we wouldn't use this. So let's do this. Let's extend this down at the 90, straight on out to here. That gives us decent coverage throughout. All right, so I'm going to do UK low density semi-detached. But what I want to do, I'm actually going to place these, I think. This little area here, I want to have some nicer buildings, nicer quote-unquote. They look nicer to me. Snap to road, only do level 1s. Yes. What I want to see is these large houses kind of begin to fill in this little area here. Might seem like it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think this is some really prime real estate. And not just anybody would move in over here. They want to be able to look out over at the rest of the city, over the river. We'll place another one of those there. They might begin to get a little bit smaller here, but like this is that street that everyone's like, oh, you live on that street. I do think too, we'll intersperse a few of these kind of row homes together right along here. Like the developer who made these houses was like, sure, if I do UK large, let's do large semi. It's only a small collection of options. Like there's not a ton of houses that fit the bill here, which is okay. That one might even be too large. That could go right next door. This could go right back here and could also fit here. We could place one right there. I think we get away with one right here. Just adds a little bit more interest to this neighborhood. I like that. I like that. Okay, let's place a few trees. Okay, nice dense tree coverage right there. That all looks pretty good. Do we have a few more? I think right here, because there's the highway, I think we can get away with having a few more. Love it. Let's go ahead and let's make this a micro neighborhood. I think that could be really nice. I think this little section here is going to be its own little neighborhood. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this zoning right here. I'm not even going to follow the road because what I want to do is I want to have these houses count towards this new district. Then what we do is we just re-drag this all the way around. There we go. So now we still have Amberwood, right, which is right here. But then, along with Amberwood is Blackwood Meadows. That is not going to be called Blackwood Meadows. This is going to be called Hickory Hill. So now you have Hickory Hill. I know they're semi-detached. I just like the way they look. The style itself, I think, looks really nice. And I like that it kind of just gives us something to that curved area. And plays nicely with the trees as well. I think that works great. All right, let's fill all of this with at least grass. At a minimum, this is all going to be grass. You're not able to park over here in Hickory Hill. There's not street parking in Hickory Hill. Are you crazy? Not a single road in this neighborhood has street parking. You're out of your mind. All right, let's do lindens. I think we'll do that height is fine. Okay. There's Hickory Hill. Now, I do want to also make it so that this works here in Hickory Hill. And we want to make sure that this high school also works here in Hickory Hill. It's just a little pocket neighborhood in there. I love that. And you guys are doing great work. We're still making money, more so than ever, which is amazing. So I'm not going to complain about that. Now that we've gotten our trees all the way along the front, we've finished building out most of this neighborhood. I'm going to do some more here, but there's a lot we've got to address over here, I think, before we can figure out how that lays out. I was going to place a park here, but I'm starting to think that, one, we've got enough green space kind of around this highway area and around the school that I don't know if a park is really the best use of that space. I also wanted to place down some low density housing, and I really like these buildings here. The southwest housing, I think, just looks great. I'm a huge fan of that. The roof colors, I think it just looks really interesting and fun. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and fill in all of this with southwest housing. Going to move nice and tight next to each other. It's going to be perfect. We are going to have some open spaces here, which is not ideal. But I think with some trees, we can kind of disguise all that and make that look better. And I think the park might kind of be behind their homes. This area here is going to need a bit of a rework. So first and foremost, we've got this power line cutting through. I think this power line actually needs to come kind of along the edge here and connect straight up and in that way. And we can decommission this power line. So now the power has been rerouted. I realized when I was looking at this, the only real entrance to this area are these two bridges. This bridge does have an immediate highway connection, but if you're trying to get over here, you have to get on this highway, cut through a totally different part of the city, to then turn over and go past Sheffield, Warehouse Bend, Cypress, and then come in. This highway entrance, which is the main bridge into Amberwood, it isn't even really connected. You have to get off the highway and then you get onto Ivy Street. And then after Ivy Street, you get onto the Azure Bridge, which then leads you into Amberwood. I would rather have a highway connection that kind of just connects right in off the highway, because the highway is right here. Like, why wouldn't we? I think our highway connection needs to somehow fit in right here. I think that we do have to get rid of this section of Fox Hollow. But then right here, this is where that highway is going to connect into the city. And I think we need to put this in place before we build really anything else. So let's go ahead and start with a 4-lane divided highway, or excuse me, divided road. We're going to send this out, say, to about here. It's going to also give us another area where we can do a bit more row house zoning and kind of define the end of that district. And I think while we do this, let's just go ahead and place some zoning down and let that do its thing. I'm going to go back, I think, this far. We'll skip a few spots here, and then we'll go in with the northeast buildings. We'll place those in as well. And then we'll do the same thing kind of along here, but in a bit of reverse. We'll place the northeast buildings first, place the regular buildings second, and then just fill in a few there as we go. Perfect. And then maybe right here, there is a grocery store, I believe. If we go here, it's this 1, 2, 3, it's a 6. I thought there was like a 6x6, not unique, office building. DE Department Row, EE, EU. Oh no, excuse me. Building level can be any. I want it to be 6x6 in terms of its height. Something like this. What is this? Is this a hotel? It's empty and available for rent. I couldn't tell you what it is. It looks like it's some lodging of some kind. I can guarantee you right this moment that nobody is going to move in there, and that building will be abandoned for the entire time we play this game. But what are you going to do? But now let's get this little road here, Camellia Street, connected into this highway. Should be relatively easy, but every time I go to build a highway, we know it doesn't ever work. So is it going to be easy? Do we really think that? Do we truly believe this is going to work out? Let's turn off, I want angle. I think I want to turn off kind of both of these connections. I think I also want to turn off existing geometry. I want to turn it all off. Because I want to kind of grab from here. Go forward like so. Yep. Let's turn on these two connections here. And let's go ahead and start sending this up to 8.5. Bam. Let's get a curve going. Basically just send it over like this. We can send it down to here, which I'm fine with. It's saying it can't connect into the road for an unknown reason. There we go. And we'll come back. We'll do some lane mathematics in a second. This side, we want this one to be able to go up and over the other one. I don't even know what height that needs to be at. That high? Nope. This high? This high works. Okay. Connect this over this way. Basically bring this back down to the ground. Send it out straight and go like this. We'll rotate that in a second. Then this needs to go from here to here, but I think that might be a bit too intense. So I'm wondering if this road here actually is going to be just two completely separate roads. Connect from here. Go straight down to here. Bring it down to the ground. Turn all this off and just go just like this. Bam. Now, here we go. You can stay snap to. We're just rotating the direction here, so go from here. That all needs to stay bridged. This should have never turned into that. There we go. Okay, now we're going to fix how all this looks just in a second. We're not there yet. Let's go ahead and grab this guy, rotate this, and just go bam. Then we're going to grab this guy from right here, rotate this, and just go bam. And then we're going to go bam. Beautiful. Look at that interchange. I built that all by myself. In record time, by the way. That did not take long at all. All right. Upgrade some things. We need an off-ramp. We need an on-ramp. We need an on-ramp. Which would just turn into a really long three-way lane that then becomes an off lane again. I think it's worth keeping. So this is going to be a problem because we have these two intersections so close to one another. I am wondering if we move that down, if that's going to help any. I don't know if that's the case, though. You're just going to have to get off and then merge over. Now, what I am worried about is, what is this? What kind of intersection is that? Back that right on the way up. And let's get some updates in here. All of this needs a key wall along the sides. I think the same is true right here. If for no other reason than it adds a kind of barrier as you're driving. I think all of that is also key walled. I can't key wall that and not mess up the other section, but I could key wall this side, which I think I kind of like. No one is going to be able to park on this road or build on this road, so that will also have a key wall, which limits the building to those center areas, which we like. Right here, we do lose this retaining wall here at the end, so I want to add that back in. I think it just looks cleaner. The highways do intersect. I see a support there, and then their next support is not so over here, but I think that's okay. Then I think we get rid of any crosswalk right there. There's no reason for that. And we get rid of the light. No reason for that either. Look at all the people already using it too. It's so much faster to use this way. This might cause problems with this road because now this road essentially becomes another highway through Amberwood, but I think that's kind of why Amberwood developed, right? Like, it had great connection and it just became a bumpin' place to live. Okay. I think we've done a lot of great work here today. Let me just add in a little bit of tree coverage right back here. We're going to correctly do this time, where the trees are different ages. Sorry, I messed that up. Get some tree all through here. We'll probably build right over top of all this. Not a problem. Brand new highway connection. I think that looks really nice. And now we've got just a much better setup here in Amberwood. I'm loving our new little city of, our little borough even, of Hickory Hill. Let's give Hickory Hill some policies. We're going to have this be a gated community for sure. Heavy traffic ban. There will be speed bumps and we will recycle. We did buy one thing that I want to place before we begin to wrap up for the day, which was this guy right here, the underground parking building, a parking garage where parking spaces are located underground. Right here is actually not a bad spot for this at all. If I were to turn off the snap twos and we were to place that right there, it's nice and flat, works well. It starts to fill in this box. I like that a lot. I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to turn this little area here into a park. And the purpose of that is going to be to connect these two competing bus lines. Wow, you have 58 people. Oh man, you have 82 people. You have 126 people. And you're all trying to get on the bus so that you can come over here and transfer at this new station. Do we have enough buses on this line? I don't think we do. Let's up it to 8. I think that would be very helpful. But I want to turn this little area into a small little park just so that we are getting people kind of where they need to go. We're going to leave a 4x4 space right here. They're going to meet here in the middle. Then let's place this square pocket park here. It expands where the surface goes. What I actually want to do is remove this surface entirely and instead place my own. We'll place it right here in the center. It can just be a nice little square. Bam. And then if we move this pocket park, we can shuffle it right to the middle. That's perfect. So that kind of leads you over into our Amberwood subway station. Maybe what we do is we divide this into sections. So like this section right here, with this curve, I think this section could be a lawn. Straight on down to here. Connect up and in. So that can be a surface there. Grass surface there. Maybe next to it too, there'll be like 2 curved lawns. There we go. So we have 2 lawns there. Both of those have mowed grass. They're very manicured. And then I think this area here could be a plaza. But I think this area here, for both these other sides, these are going to be regular grass, not mowed. Beautiful. Oh, I like the way that looks. And then right here, I wouldn't mind trying to get a color that's the same as this. I think that's probably pavement surface too. It's probably as close as we're going to get. Yeah, that's great. All right, Linden's... It's Linden Street. So I feel as though this is going to be Linden Park. Now, I am going to not place trees in the mowed areas. All right, for now, that's what that's going to look like. I am going to, similar to our little micro neighborhood, I am going to pull this section out just like so. And we are going to name this Linden Park. And I think we'll come back later, maybe in a details episode. I'll do a bit more work on this. I think for now it looks decent enough. I don't really have an idea yet of what could go there, so I don't want to force it and then come back and change it. But I think this looks real good, guys. Real good. I'm loving Hickory Hill and the fact that we've got these like nice houses. I like that we've got single family homes, we've got the row homes, and then we have some larger buildings right here all together. And I like that it's a little mini city near that city. It's 2 Skylines kind of back to back. I love it. That is looking so good. We've got a new highway connection, which seems to be being used pretty well. Lots of people coming off this way, which is great. Not so many people going on this way, but that's not a problem. This person's coming on. Oh, very nice. So that's great. Our money is in a much better spot finally. I feel like it's taken forever for us to reach there. We solved our post office problem for the most part. Now this neighborhood, hold on. I say that, and it looks like we're actually producing even more mail. You guys have 3 vehicles out and about. I think what I would like to do is maybe limit your reach. I think you might be doing too much, and that's spreading you too thin. So let's get rid of Mason. You don't need the university. Trafford College, I know, is covered. It's covered by 2 post offices. And the Briarwood post office, which, let's see how good I am at this. I think the Briarwood post, isn't this it? No. Hold on. It's right here. Look at me knowing my city. The Briarwood post office covers a number of districts already, but I think it covers Trafford College just fine. No one lives in Elizabeth Crossing. Well, we don't even need that there. All right. You're not going to cover Trafford College either. Hopefully that helps you kind of prioritize this area. I also think I'm going to remove the fish from your purview, and instead the fish will get a tiny little post office kind of right here somewhere. I think I want to tuck it in right here on the corner. You only operate here in the fish. That's your whole purpose, is to work here in the fish. So we solved a number of problems today. We built further out with Amberwood. Our population is rising, which we love to see. And our money is doing good, which all of these things happening at the same time never happens. So I'm happy with it. All right, guys, I think that's where we're going to end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.